Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another video. So in this video, well, actually I have a request from you guys. Before I even get into the video, I need you guys to focus because we're going to be covering a topic that's really complicated. I mean, I wouldn't call it really complicated, but it is pretty advanced. So I need you guys to listen very carefully. We're going to be covering the topic of saving the player position. Okay, so imagine you're in a game, your character walks to, let's say, this square right here, and he leaves the game. Whenever he joins back, we want him to load on the same square, and that's just position saving. So we're going to be using data stores, obviously, and I'm going to try to explain this simply. I'm going to explain it in a way that, well, in the way that made me understand when I was first learning scripting. So before we get into scripting, make sure that you activate HTTP requests and you enable studio access to API services. These two are important so that we can work with the data stores. So okay, first thing you want to do, you want to go here and add a script, and you want to define the service that we're going to be using. Is just game get service data store service, and you want to define a data store. It's service get data store, and you can name it whatever. I'm going to name it position. Okay, so now that's done. Whenever we're working with data stores, we're working with two game events. The first event is game.players.playerAdded, and you can grab the player argument. Now the second game event is game.players.playerRemoving connect function, and you can grab the player. So this is whenever the player is going to be added in the game, and this is whenever the player is leaving the game. So I'm going to explain step by step what we want to do. Step one, we want to create a variable, and this variable is going to store the current position. Okay, store current position. Okay, and then whenever the player leaves, so leaves, we want to send the position to data store. So we want to store the current position inside the data store. And whenever he joins, we want to load the data from data store. Okay, so it's just 3 steps, and it sounds pretty simple, but it gets a bit complicated. But don't worry, I'm 100% sure you guys will understand everything by the end of this video. So the first thing you want to do is to create the variable that's going to store our current position. To do that, I like to say player.characterAdded connect function and grab the player, and this is just to make sure that the character is fully loaded in whenever we're going to do the everything. Just we want to make sure that the character is fully loaded before the script is running. So to create the variable, it's actually the easiest part. You just do local position is the instance.new, and we're not going to store an integer value. We're going to store a C-frame value. Okay, so make sure that you put instance.new C-frame value. The position.name is just going to be position, and the position.parent, we're going to store it inside the player. Okay, and I can show you what this does in game. The player is loaded, we go inside it, and we're storing a C-frame value. Okay, so this is it, and what we want is to update this position every, I don't know, 2 seconds. Let's say every 2 seconds I want this position to update so that we can store it inside the data store. Okay, so to do that, you just do, well, we have to use a while loop. So while task.wait, I don't know, 2 seconds do, and we want the local position player find first child position. So we're just grabbing this that we just created, and you want to update it. So position.value, it will be equal to the current C-frame. So to do that, you just do character find first child humanoid root part dot C-frame. And if you go in game, I can show you exactly what that does. You go here, every couple of seconds, the position should be updating. So as you can see, every couple of seconds, the player position is in fact updating to the current player position. So we got that working really well. Now for step 2, we want to store the data whenever the player leaves the game. So to do that, you have to use the pcall function. So just local success error is equal to the pcall function, and what we want to do inside this function is we want to take this value, which is a C-frame value, and we want to serialize it. Okay, that's because data stores can't save C-frame values as they are. We have to do something called packet, or to serialize it. So local serialized C-frame is the, well, you want to put the squiggly brackets. This is to put it inside a table, and you want to say player find first child position dot value colon get components. And I'll explain this. It's really simple. What we're doing is we're taking the position value, which remember is a C-frame value. We're grabbing the components and we're storing it inside a table, I think it's called, or I don't know. We're storing it inside squiggly brackets, and that's called serializing a value. Okay, so we're just serializing the C-frame. So now that we have it, we just say data store set async, and the key is going to be the player user ID position, comma, serialized C-frame. Okay, so with this, we're storing the current player position as a serialized C-frame value. Okay, so it's important that you understand that data stores, they can't save a C-frame value as it is. You have to serialize it first. Okay, now we want to check if it's successful. So if success, then print successfully saved the serialized position, and else, so if it's not successful, warn error. So we want to know what the error is in orange color. So we can hop in the game and check and see if that works. So we go here position, and it's updating every couple of seconds. Now we stop, and we have successfully saved the serialized position. So that's really good. It's working great. We're saving the current position. So now how do we load it? Well, you go here, and again you have to use the pcall function. So local success comma error is equal to pcall function, and remember we're storing a serialized value, so local serialized C-frame is equal to data store get async of player user ID position. So we're just grabbing what we saved, and now we have to deserialize it. We have to unpack it. So you can just store it inside a variable. So local unpacked C-frame, it's going to be cframe.new because it's a C-frame value, table.unpack serialized C-frame. So just to recap, we're saving a serialized C-frame, and when we're loading it, we're just unpacking it. And now we want to say if unpacked C-frame, so if we actually have a value, then position.value is going to be equal to unpacked C-frame, and we want the character, I think it was set primary port C-frame to position.value. Okay, so local serialized C-frame is this. We're grabbing the serialized C-frame that we saved previously, we're unpacking it, and if the unpack and everything is successful, then we want the position.value to update to that, and we want the character to move to this value. Okay, and so that's it. But else, so if we don't actually have a value for unpacked C-frame, we just want the position.value to be equal to character find first child humanoid root part dot cframe, and that's because we just like want to make sure that we actually have a value for the character to go to. Okay, and okay, so now we want to check if everything is successful. So just if success, then print successfully loaded position, else warn of error. Okay, and that should be it. So we can go and check. As you can see, we spawn here, which was the previously saved position. And okay, I'm going to go to the left of this. Remember this square right here. So we wait a couple of seconds, stop, and then play again. And as you can see, we spawn on the exact square. So that's about it. You've learned how to save and load current position. Now again, as I've said in previous videos, the only important thing is that you understand. You can just copy paste the script, but if you understand it, then you can replicate it like by yourself. And if you understand it, then you're pretty much set to make an adventure game where the position is constantly saved. So okay, if you have any questions, don't hesitate to ask. And also, if you want to just copy paste the script, I will be posting it on the Discord that I will link in the description section. You can just join the Discord, copy, paste, and then leave the Discord. It doesn't really matter. I just put there to simplify you guys' life. And I really hope that I explained this simply. I'm pretty sure that I did, but if ever you have any questions or, if you're wondering about anything, just ask me in the comment section and I will 100% answer you. So okay, thank you for being here. Bye.